When it comes to Antarctica, many global questions always arise. But today we will try to understand only some of them, perhaps the most mysterious. For example, what is the relationship between secret Nazi bases, UFOs, and the portal of dark souls that are located on this frozen continent? And today we will try to find out why Antarctica has become a place of mass pilgrimage for the secret rulers of our planet. And how all this is intertwined with alien creatures. Extraterrestrial civilization. Antarctica is often called a sleepy place. However, this is not quite true. Despite the fact that this white continent has been sleeping peacefully and almost innocently in the eternal ice for 1,000 years, it plays a special role in the liberation of our planet and all humanity. Artani's Phineas 1532 map shows Antarctica without any ice cap. The uniqueness of his work, first of all, lies in one very interesting piece of evidence. It can be assumed that 1,000 years ago a developed civilization could have flourished at the South Pole, which eventually, for unknown reasons, left the continent, or became a victim of some kind of natural disaster. No one knows for sure how this civilization arose. According to one theory, it could be an extraterrestrial civilization that crashed with its spaceship at the South Pole. And then she found herself buried under a thick layer of ice, as a result of a cataclysm that broke out about 6,000 years ago. According to many researchers, there could even be several such civilizations, and all of them built their structures using technologies unknown to modern humanity. According to some reports, excavations in 2002 contributed to the discovery of ancient cities that were frozen deep under the Ross ice shelf. In the same region, various trees and plants, and bones of wild animals that inhabited the continent about 55,000 years ago were found. But why were traces of these civilizations not discovered earlier? The fact is that all these ruins are well protected from any possible observation from the air, which is why they remained unexplored for so long. There is also some information that the discovery of the ruins dates back to the first German Nazi expedition, which occurred in 1939. But full-fledged excavations with the participation of archaeologists and scientists were allowed only in 2002. Secret visits. Today, Antarctica is considered one of the most important research centers on our planet. Just imagine, now more than 30 countries are conducting their research there, but there are also people who are sure that all the work on the white continent is just a good cover for a much larger matter. The Antarctic Treaty states that the region is completely demilitarized, but there are eyewitnesses who claim that the military presence is concentrated in different parts of the continent and especially at the South Pole. Also, everyone knows about the existence of an unmanned zone, but what is it for? Unless there is something to hide from prying eyes. Many world leaders secretly travel to Antarctica year after year. But when the legendary astronaut Buzz Aldrin visited this region, he wrote a strange message on his Twitter. "We are all in danger. This is evil itself." Soon Aldrin was hospitalized with a heart attack. And his tweet mysteriously disappeared from the social network. Author Steve Quayle, who owns the work Empire Under the Ice, says the visit may have been related to Operation High Jump, the goal of which was to destroy hidden Nazi bases at the South Pole. He says that many important institutions, government leaders, well-known representatives of industry and the financial sector, strongly supported Hitler in building the Third Reich. Quell also mentions in his work that even after the end of the war they all supported the Nazi authorities and their buildings. Okay, not so long ago, a meeting took place in Antarctica between the founder of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and the head of the central bank, Christine Lagarde. Based on this, it is logical to assume that in the depths of the cold continent there may be a real center of power of the shadow government. If this is in fact the case, then there is a real connection between many components: secret underground bases, advanced alien technology, hidden funding of the rich, and the official version of the non-existent Nazi regime. Antarctica is a center of power. According to that same Steve Quayle, Antarctica is a very special region, which is often called the center of power. The reason for this is quite interesting. Some believe that it is there that the known gates are located, which make it possible to easily open various portals to spiritual and demon-inhabited universes. Let's remember that the Nazis were heavily involved in the occult at one time. There is also a lot of information about their practices of interaction with spirits and demons. Based on this, we can safely say that there is a clear symbiosis with the dark souls that personify the bosom of the earth. Perhaps this is exactly what Buzz Aldrin wanted to convey to us with his message. Returning to our topic, I would like to note the words of the informant Jean Descade, who led the disclosure operation. He stated that Antarctica has large underground military installations as well as maglev tunnel systems. Operating on the boundaries of the continental shelf and tectonic plate, they all lead to other military bases, such as Australia's Pine Gap, although many of them could have been destroyed by earthquakes that occurred somewhere nearby. Here the writer Mary Sutherland publicly disclosed non-disclosure agreements about the presence of the Nazis on the White Continent after the end of all hostilities. She writes, "Well-armed and intact Nazis were clearly present in Antarctica and South America. However, this information was carefully hidden from the general public and a large number of elected officials. Why was there such secrecy? Apparently it reveals the true goals of Admiral Byrd's Antarctic mission in 1946 to 1947. Where is Area 51 really located? You may have already heard something about the scandalous ex-politician and writer named Michael Salla, but if not, we note that he wrote a very interesting book called Antarctica, The Forbidden Truth. In his work, he talks about the existence of a control center for secret space programs, development of a landing site for refugees from other planets, creation of the headquarters of the interplanetary slave trade and much more. The author in his work publishes a detailed map of 6 industrial zones, which belong to one of the secret space programs, an interplanetary corporate conglomerate. All this makes me think. Everything we previously knew about Area 51 is nothing more than dust. In fact, for a long time it was a kind of cover base, which was used for the global deception of humanity. Salo also shows people an image of the tunnel system, which creates free entry and exit for submarines to Antarctica. This system originates on the White Continent, and then extends straight to South America. There, in turn, there is another similar system, which leads directly to North America. True, there is an assumption that most of the object was blown up. Biblical motives. Salop in her work makes reference to information given by a certain healer and medium Megan Ross. She, in turn, wrote a book called Welcome to the Future, Alien Abduction, Galactic War and the Birth of a New One, in which she talks about the cooperation of alien beings with the Earthly Alliance. All this information is confirmed by the author and spiritual medium James Gillen. In his opinion, these forces cooperated with the chosen inhabitants of our planet through special frequencies. This whole process dates back to the time of the birth of Jesus Christ. James Gilland is convinced that Jesus himself and his mother Mary and the Archangel Spoke came to Earth from other galactic civilizations. He believed that the souls of these aliens inhabited human bodies on Earth with one sole purpose, to rid our planet of the dark forces spreading everywhere. Real House. Gillen built a whole theory that our Bible is an unearthly scripture, but a kind of coded message from alien beings. People are not yet able to decipher it because they have a low level of consciousness. The most significant statement in the Bible, according to the author, is the existence of the devil, which in fact is demons from other universes that have been living for millions of years. All these beings can come to us through special portals, and then incarnate as dark souls in physical bodies. James Gilland and Megan Rolls are of the same opinion that it is extremely important for you and me to learn to distinguish between dark and light souls. Dark souls, reasoning, it is no secret that life is a multidimensional process that can only be understood through higher consciousness. According to the beliefs of some people, hostile dark souls have been coming to our planet for millions of years, and they can appear in a variety of guises throughout history, the Crusaders, Templars, or for example the German National Socialists in the Third Reich. They can be considered the personification of the present evil. All of them come to Earth time after time over millions of years in order to maintain their control status. All these dark souls are capable of infiltrating our communities in a cunning way, often becoming part of various spiritual communities, politics, business, or actively manifesting themselves in religion. For 1,000 years they have been creating chaos on Earth and plunging humanity into it. Of course, the proportion of such dark souls coming through portals to our planet is gradually decreasing over time, but it still remains high. All of the above can be summed up in the words of James Gilliland, who studied this topic in depth. He said this: interaction with dark souls is like one step forward and two back. Thanks for your attention and bye.